Again?
Hey, we're on. All right. Hello, everyone.
Turn off any phones.
We're at episode 12. I can't believe we made it that far, but we are. We're at episode 12. Please share this, the show. Also go to YouTube. We are there under Citizens United with John and Chris. That's a good place to go because sometimes Facebook has some glitches to it. YouTube plays it very clear and all that. So if anything ever happens here with Facebook, go to YouTube or just go to YouTube anyways. But please share and like and all that stuff for us. Also, before I say hello to everybody, we hit our 30,000th view. So
wow,
that means
that's a beautiful thing.
Next is world domination. That's where we're headed. We're headed to about, we'll be at 100,000 soon, and then before you know it, we'll be at 1 million. So that's what I'm thinking, you guys. But anyhow, all right, let's start this off. Robin, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone.
All right, good. Thank you for sharing. Robin's over there sharing, co-producing, doing all that stuff. And my co-host, Chris, how's it going?
Johnny, it's always a pleasure to be here, man. You're 1 in a million, speaking of millions.
Oh, yeah, I'm 1 in a million.
You're 1 in a million, buddy. Hey, life is good. Happy to be here again at Uwawa Media and wonderful downtown Niagara Falls. Soon to be, because things are going to change. We're going to get into a lot of stuff tonight, some political things. We got some, I forgot my shirt. We are Niagara Strong. We're changing, we're not using 3 letters tonight. Maybe WTF, because we got a crazy guy next to me. But yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight. We're going to have a great show, talk about some local things and, politics here and there. But hope everybody tunes in to YouTube, share it. We're on Facebook as well. And our special guest tonight, Mr. Scott Taggart, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, guys, what's happening?
No, glad to have you here. Geez, it's been a long time. When I went down to the door, it's been 30 years?
Yeah. 30
maybe?
Plus.
30 plus.
Probably more.
God. We were kind of friends, too, at Niagara Catholic.
Yeah, we were.
I remember we're the same age, right? Or when did you graduate?
I graduated in 89, but I was a little bit younger than everybody else.
All right.
I think I was the youngest in the class, so everybody was like turning 16, driving cars, and I was still 15.
Of 2 was found beaten to death in her home on LaSalle and 17th. According to news reports, she called police about unwelcome visitors around 10 or so at night. She's then found beaten to death at, they believe she was beaten to death, sometime in the middle of the night. With all of that going on, that story there, then you think about what happened with Mr. Richardson, and we haven't heard anything. Great guy, of course, got shot in the head in his own house, and we don't know anything. And the mayor comes out and says, if I knew, I think I'm going to paraphrase what he said, but he said, if I knew what to do, believe me, I would get a hold of every mayor in the city, in the country, and tell them. I don't know if that's good enough. I mean, why not ask for more? Ask for something to happen. You see it all the time.
And let's talk, there's a murder over at the Red House, the famous Red House on Highland Avenue. So that's 3 of them that we're talking about now, right?
Yeah.
Deaths, young children. I went to the funeral, by the way, at, representing the Peacemakers at Forest Avenue Church. There was a line out the door. It was one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life. You know, it's a shame. You know, Scott's got children, you got children. I mean, these are young children. Let's put aside why they were where they were. The girl's in her house sleeping, the other guy's at supposedly a party house, you know. But nobody deserves to lose their life. Yet they lose their life, and there's no news coverage. There's no updates from the city, the mayor. You know, what is going on? Does nobody care anymore? Like the mayor is going to put a post about the mayor passing away over in Canada, and they're going to put the lights red on the falls. How about finding somebody, you know, there's a trail of red blood coming out of this city, and it needs to stop. And we as the citizens can't stop it. We're asking for help from the police, from the mayor, maybe another mayor from another city, but okay, I'll let you go. It's got to change. Someone's got to change. And I know what John's is to vote him out, but we can't wait to vote him out. People are dying daily. This place it's like Chicago and Detroit here. It's not the Niagara Falls we know. It's not the Niagara Falls we want. And it needs to stop. It needs to change. Someone please help us.
Well, we broke the record.
Yeah, we're number one at something.
No,
homicide
we
rate.
Broke the
Wonderful.
Record. Yeah, we were. It was 8, and I think we're at 12. So that's a sad record to break. I said this when, I said this when there was a protest, and people kneeled and all that stuff. And then people did. And then people, you know, changed the street on Ontario. But Ontario's still the same street. They just put a name on the bottom and all that great stuff. And the horrible social justice commission that has been unveiled with no one on there that's ever been. It's a joke. All CEOs and stuff. So they have no clue. So you have
yeah, no representation of real people in the community.
So you got all them people. You got all that. And
that was like episode 11. We clearly went into that.
Yeah, I'm just tired of this.
And John, we even gave recommendations on who we thought would be a good member of the board.
Oh, many members.
Right? We went through each person that we thought would represent the city well. And, you know, I'm not even going down that road. But
what road? What road are you going?
It's just that.
You go down it. Go down. What are you talking about?
You know,
ahead,
I
Scott
think a certain section of the city may be ignored somewhat, or a certain population of the city, because
I'm sure it's been ignored for years.
Yes,
no doubt.
And it seems that those areas that have been ignored forever are the high crime areas, are the death areas. So what's that mean? Let's concentrate the police in those areas.
Well, how about it?
Someone come up with a plan. Let's stop talking about it.
A lot of it too is a lot
fired
of it,
up tonight. I told you earlier.
A lot of it has to do with economics too. I mean, it's mostly, you know, those that have and those that have not. And that's where you see everything happening, is where they have, you know what I mean?
But people that are drowning, and Scott will.
There's a lot of have-nots in this city.
You know, when people are drowning, you know I would, and I know this guy would, and probably everyone in this room, you help them. You don't ignore them.
Yeah.
You know, you're ignoring murders, you're ignoring poverty, yet you put something nice up in another end of the city that, it makes the city aesthetically maybe a little bit better, but you haven't helped the poverty, you haven't brought in any jobs, and we're driving through roads like Beirut. I mean...
But if you're going to bring in jobs, which, you know, you have seen them come in now and again, but when you're paying people a wage that, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, could any of us with a child, which a lot of people have... You couldn't afford to live.
Right.
You can't live. You'd have to work. I've done it. I've worked 3 jobs at once.
Right. You're making $12 an hour selling T-shirts. Yeah.
I mean,
you know, you can't live. You're right, but
you know what I
mean?
mean?
You can't live off of it. You got to play in a band. You got to work in a factory, and you got to sell tomatoes in order to just pay your mortgage.
And the rents here are pretty high.
The rent is too damn high.
Yeah, I saw $1,200 in DeVoe.
It's ridiculous.
I mean,
How about the
it's
place
like that out in LaSalle too?
Yeah, and the ones right across from the casino, right? They redid that building,
right?
And they want like the luxury condo or something.
It's got to be incredible.
Like
how much they want for that. We wouldn't even. No one's gonna be able to live there.
No.
Now I am gonna say this again, and I say it every show, and I get sick of it. You have a choice here when elections come around. They're coming around right now. Here we go again. We are going to have an election in 2021. We know the names. We know the people. Are you going to vote for the corrupt, or are you going to vote for new names? Now, look at the names. It's very easy to find the corruption connection, okay? Just
like that.
Just look at the people that you know are are corrupt. You know the names. So you look at it, and then you just see who they are supporting. You can see it. Vote against them. All of them. Every time. I want to vote against their grandkids. I want to vote against their great-grandkids. I don't want them to ever get up again, because if you let them up, then they just keep doing what they've done. And I'm telling you, this next city court judge thing, these people want this job so bad because it's great. It's a part-time job. They're making a ton of money. You can't beat it. And look at the people that are going to start. Follow the names. You know the names, and these dopes are going to end up guaranteed electing the person that is the most, that has the most connections to all the corruption we've ever had in this city, and everyone cries about it. You can't make a change. You can't make a change until you change the power. In my mind, because we can scream and yell all we want. I can go on the street. I can go to the city council meeting. They laugh in our face.
And we gotta start, start with locals.
Yeah.
The young don't vote. That's the problem. That's a huge problem. It's a problem in presidential elections, in local elections. Unless the young start to get out to vote to make the change, it's never going to change, because it's name. John, we talked about it. It's name recognition. They see the name they like, and
and on that name recognition, and I was going to bring that up, Scott, and I'm glad you did, is people don't do their homework. They don't do their research. They say, oh, my grandma and grandpa and dad and mom voted for Mr. Smith, so I'm going to vote for Mr. Smith. Not even knowing anything about Mr. Smith, not knowing his background, not what has he passed, what legislations, follow the process, follow the bills, follow the law. What has he done in Congress, or she, and I like that. And, people that do their homework, like Scott, he's done his homework. He's got papers.
Follow the scum. Follow the scum.
It's not hard.
It isn't. We have the internet. I got it on my phone right here. It's not like it was in the 80s, right? I have to go to the library. It's right here. I can look at any number of sites that'll tell me who's being funded by who. And then, it's simple. You have to follow the scum. You know where it is, and you go for it. Here's an example of someone I couldn't vote for. Me. I wouldn't vote for myself if I ran. Okay? I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
I'm not voting for me, because I know, you know what? And now, if someone were to want to vote for me, they'd really have to do the research to figure out who I am and why I'm different. But I understand why they wouldn't want to, because
But therein lies the problem anyway. Yeah. Even if you didn't have a recognizable name, nobody does their homework.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I see people come up and they're campaigning, and they're getting into the elections, and I don't know who they are.
Right.
I'll be honest. For the last mayor's election, I met one of them. One. And I was home quite a bit. I was very surprised I didn't get a knock on the door. They didn't come around and introduce themselves. You're never gonna get elected when you have to fight against name recognition in this city. It's been like that for years.
And you know what else is bad these days? You also have the newspapers really joined in. The Niagara Gazette didn't even talk about the mayor's election.
Manufactured consent, like you always say.
They only talked about the letter I wrote. And then after the letter I wrote and got into the paper, they allowed the mayor above the fold top page to discredit my letter. So, that was it. They didn't talk about Glenn. They didn't talk about Elder. They didn't talk about anything. And then if you go to the Reporter, we're going to go through this one more time. The mayor, North Tonawanda, those guys. You've got Wetaskiwin.
OTB.
You have them guys, because that's Wetaskiwin. You have the little bakery, for reasons that I have yet to be able to put my finger on. And I'm guessing they're going to choose either Faso or somebody to do the same for, So we're up against it. And, boy, I tell you, the only way is you got to look at those recognizable names and realize that those are the names you want to say goodbye to.
Hey, well, speaking of names, let's say hi to some of our guests on social media. We have a lot of our normal listeners. We have your daughter in there, Kevin Hutchinson, as always. Hello from a lot of people, Danny Fitzpatrick, Tim Huther. Okay, so these boys are getting ready to fire Scott up. Pretty boy Scott. What's up with them? They want to get his. They want to hear that passion from last week. So we apologize. We had a few little.
Actually hear me this time.
Yeah, we had a few audio glitches there, but we're rolling strong. Peter's holding down the fort. And the call-in number, again, is 716-804-1229. And let's see.
What do you got there?
We got some shouts out to the peacemakers. We want to get the young people involved And let's see if we have, Mark Lavin wants to start talking Trump, so Scotty's head can explode.
Me and him already had that little
all
party
right,
2 days ago.
Okay, and we had some Glenn Chalokian was good door-to-door, fake robbery at the bakery from William Nye, and Lisa Dorado, Jeffrey Elder from Mayor. Hi, everyone. So
hey, Lisa.
Let's get into some politics, and if you want to call in and see Scott's head explode, I do too. Again, it's 716-804-1229, and here we go.
All right, Scott. Let's get into a little bit about you. I haven't seen you in 30 years.
Yeah.
How are things going? What are you up to these days?
Good. Well, I'm married now. I have 2 daughters.
How old are they?
I have one that's 24, and the other one is 9.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, a little bit of a separation there, but it works.
Nice.
Works.
Very good. And now we got to get into some other stuff. I think you're a no-party independent, right?
Yes.
No party.
Yes.
You were a Republican.
Yep.
All right, I got to ask you, what made you do that? Or when did you do it, and what made you?
I did it about 1.5 years ago, and I did it most really because, I gave it time. I wasn't a fan of Trump to begin with, but I really did not want to give Hillary Clinton my vote either. I mean,
right.
More the whole, the name recognition and not wanting. I wasn't a fan, and there's numerous reasons why, but I just a very hard time with the way he is. The way he speaks, I've never seen a president that's lied the multitude of times that this man has, and gets away with it. And I mean, they come out, but it's like they come so much. It happens so much that it overwhelms people. So there's not a lot. It's not easy to concentrate on one thing he does because it's literally every single day.
You can never get back to a baseline. You can never get back.
Well, to me, politics. I mean, I looked into it. I paid attention to it, but it wasn't a big thing to me. I mean, it was nice that it was boring. Now I appreciate when it was boring.
Right.
I mean, people hate each other.
Yeah, that's bad.
I watched a conversation take place where a family reunion wasn't happening because of the things that some of the people in the family were posting, that Donald Trump was saying, or the memes and the things like that.
Right.
And they weren't even going to attend their own family reunion because of it. It's done a lot of damage to this country. I just wanted to go. I'm not in love with Joe Biden by any stretch of the imagination, but I just can't do 4 more years of this. I just can't.
We got a call. Caller, you're on the air with Citizens United.
Hi, John. It's Lisa Dorado. How are you?
Hey, Lisa.
What's up, Lisa?
prosciutto.
We're all hungry.
I'm actually at my girlfriend's house right now, drinking some wine and eating some hors d'oeuvres over here.
Oh, nice, huh? See?
Yeah.
I hear you. I heard you brought the good hors d'oeuvres. I wasn't as gracious of a guest as you were.
Well, I'm Italian and all. We can't help ourselves.
Yeah.
That's why he was confused. He was trying to keep up with what you brought in, He had to bring. He was going to bring a keg, but he couldn't carry it up.
All right, Lisa, what do you got for our friend?
What do you got for us?
So I'm just curious. Well, first I want to make one quick statement, Scott. I will guarantee you we can go one by one, and Biden has lied at least 50% more than Trump.
Oh, my God.
So,
no way.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Over a 4-year span?
No way.
4-year span?
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. The 4-year span.
No way.
Oh yeah.
They've kept track of his lies.
I
believe Trump's over like 10,000 at this point or something. It's a pretty ridiculous number.
Well, he doesn't even know what the truth is because he's not competent. The man has Alzheimer's.
You mean Donald Trump?
Let me get to my question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what do you feel about the United States Supreme Court seat being filled and being named in this Saturday?
I'll be honest. I'm sure if the other party was in power, they'd have done the same thing. I mean, honestly, I'm sure they would, even though they're crying. I am sure that Chuck Schumer would be up there saying, "Let's do it right now."
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
My feeling about what this person is going to do to our country, that I got a problem with. I mean,
nah.
Now let me just finish.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to say this because I saw all these people about wearing face masks, right? Don't tell me what to do. This is my body. Don't tell me what to do. You're right. Now you're going to vote for a guy that's going to now put a Supreme Court judge in place to possibly, and I think there's a good chance it's going to happen, is reverse Roe versus Wade, and then guess what? They're telling what you can do with your body if you're a female, and I don't think it's right. I just don't.
I absolutely agree with that, and I don't think that they will, but it definitely does need to be tweaked. I just don't believe that you should use abortion as birth control. If there is a substantial situation, a female being raped, if there's a health issue where the mother could possibly die, of course, I
100% agree with you on that, Lisa.
It's kind of like one strike, but like, how are you going to come back 3 times a year to have an abortion? That needs to stop.
Sure,
there's
no doubt about that.
Right.
Yeah,
no doubt.
And my belief is that Margaret that started Planned Parenthood in the first place was doing it because she was the biggest racist of them all, and she was putting them in inner cities for population control to the black community.
Yeah,
I can't disagree with that.
I've read
probably
that.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't doubt that.
No.
Yes,
so if I really felt that they were going to completely overturn that, I wouldn't be going for that.
I'm not so much worried about Donald Trump with that, but I am extremely worried about Mitch McConnell. I mean, this is his dream come true. I mean, he's been waiting for this, and he's got it now, and that's scary.
I think that we're past that. I don't think that there's going to be enough to go along with him on that situation because there's been too many, let's face the fact. The rape is on the uprise over the last 20 years. The people aren't going to just say, "Oh, okay, you just can't have one." Like you have to have a child by somebody that raped you. I doubt that will happen.
John, if I'm right, aren't they at a tie with that? Is it a tie? Yeah. So I mean, she's the deciding vote, and she's all for reversing. She's come out and said it. She wants. If you read up on her a little bit, that's what she wants.
I know Amy Barrett. I know exactly what it's all about.
She's the swing vote. I mean, she makes it work. She makes it happen for
but
them. I hope it doesn't.
What were the numbers, Scott? We were talking about it earlier. As far as Republicans, there was a number you had it.
It's like 50-50
Yeah,
split. It's like 50-50 or a little more towards not reversing Roe versus Wade.
Right.
I think that's good. If they push this, I think that's going to hurt them.
Why did Donald Trump downplay the coronavirus? Anyone have a thought on that?
Go ahead, Lisa. If you want to answer
first of all, I don't think he really downplayed it. If he was downplaying it, he would not have shut China from coming in or Europe from coming in so soon in the game.
But he didn't really totally stop China from coming in. He didn't fully stop China from coming in. If you were working in China, but if you were working in China and you were from the United States, you were still allowed to come back.
Well,
so that's not stopping all flights from China.
But don't you have to let an American back?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah. You have to let Americans back. It's like as if we're in another country.
I know,
but I don't think they were allowed to go back. They were forced to work here from home once they got back here.
Right. So, they couldn't go back.
Yeah, they couldn't go back. So once they got back here, it was shut down. They weren't going back to work over in China.
But at that point, with the way our testing was, I wonder how many brought it back with them. Do you know? I mean, seriously, how many? We don't know, right?
There's just been the numbers I do believe are way off. I think the numbers obviously would be lower if Cuomo didn't send all these old people back to the nursing homes. Yeah. So that's my thought on it.
I wasn't a big fan of that
we're
either.
in the middle. We're dealing with something that nobody's ever dealt with before. Mm-hmm. So, everybody's kind of running around a little bit with their tail between their legs, trying to figure out what's best.
Lisa, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What about the coronavirus? Do you think it's just like the flu?
No, I believe that it's real. I believe that this has happened.
No, thank you. I appreciate that.
I definitely think that it's real, but I do believe that they're lying about the numbers of deaths. And
I don't doubt that either.
Yeah, a friend of mine that works as a director of a hospital out in Vegas, so he told me, they're just calling like regular pneumonias. And if you look at it, this is what you look at. If you look at it, there is a consistent number over like a 20-year span of years of people dying from regular pneumonia. All of a sudden, that number has drastically dropped. Drastically.
Right.
So you look into that.
Yeah.
You can kind of do your own homework and just figure it all out. I mean, nobody's telling the truth. That's
why it's hard to figure out.
Our friend Fauci didn't do a great job with the mask situation when he openly lied to us. I just thought that was bad. You can't tell us don't use the mask. But I was only saying that because I wanted to save them for the medical workers. Why not just say that? I don't know, because then we could have made our own masks and
right.
And
exactly.
Stuff.
Well, according to Trump, COVID only happens in blue states.
Yeah, that's another big issue too. How about the states that are? Well, he purposely didn't help states that were Democratic. I mean, it's come out. He said it.
Yes.
I mean, so
How do you figure that?
Yeah, wait a minute.
Because he said it.
Yeah, but how did he do? I'm trying to figure out. No, go ahead, Lisa. Go ahead.
No, that's not the truth because he sent ventilators right out the gate. Cuomo is basically right out of his own mouth. President Trump is wonderful. Helped them build that hospital in Jacob Javits Center, which they never used. They never used the boat.
Yeah, the USS Comfort.
Okay, they could have put the old people over on the USS Comfort, but no, he decided to send them back to the nursing home, and they never even used that ship. Mm-hmm. It was like they were trying to punk. It was like they were trying to punk Trump.
Yeah.
Okay. Cuomo was in a pissing contest with him.
Well, Trump wanted to look like a hero too, setting up shop and bringing the big ships in too, right?
Well, no, the governor wanted it.
Well, I think that he was literally
but
trying
it made Trump look good too, right? I
dying.
sent in the big ship.
Well, everyone was happy with it. I mean, the governor wanted
it.
It
was good timing. I mean,
and the president gave it to him.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
And I mean, the president gave it to him. So I don't.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, the biggest thing is
I don't think that he was ever holding back from blue states between PPE equipment and or anything medical as far as the ventilators. I mean, he was making it happen as fast as he possibly could.
I
think that honestly, I think Pelosi and Schumer and Cuomo were the ones that slowed the process down, and I hold them responsible to tell you the truth.
How did they do that?
How did they do that? Old
Not
Nancy over there in February, come on down to Chinatown. Come on down. We got Biden calling him a xenophobe. It was ridiculous. I mean, didn't you guys pay attention? I mean, come on. Really?
Well,
I think you're giving Trump way too much credit. I really do. I mean, he's definitely not making all these decisions on his own. But how about this? Did you know that they were supposedly sending out, I can't remember what it was. It came out a lot in the news today in regards to, this was, I believe, I can't remember the month, March, April, I think in that time frame, where they were going to mass send out masks to every home in the United States.
5 for each person, right?
Yeah. And then you know, the Trump administration, they went in, they just canceled it, stopped it. I mean, but why?
Because they needed them for the hospitals. People were already starting to make homemade masks, and they do that. So
I don't know. I mean, that's what your state. That's what you believe. I haven't heard a full reason why. I mean, this just came out yesterday, so at least that I heard about.
Yeah.
Well, as far as overall COVID numbers, if I'm not mistaken, I read that any death with a person that had COVID, whether the death was a result of the COVID or not, has been coded as a COVID death. So in other words, if you got into a car accident and you had COVID, you were considered a COVID death, even if your actual cause of death was the car accident.
Correct. That is absolutely 100% correct, Robin. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Lisa.
Well,
we miss you.
Yeah, Lisa, you got to come back. You're going to have to come back in.
I will.
Enjoy your wine.
All right, you all take care, and God bless America.
All right,
All right,
Lisa.
have a good night, Lisa.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for calling in.
Let me see how to, these phones, jeez. All right, anyway, Scott, let's get back into something else now.
Okay.
All right, she brought up the one thing about the Supreme Court. I agree with you. I'll give you my idea. They're going to do it, and I believe both parties would do it because at their core, I think both parties are the same. I don't really give them any. The establishment parties are the same. You want to give me McConnell, I'll Schumer. It's just all the same. They're just going from a different direction, but they're all bought and paid for, and they're donors. And I know why healthcare never gets fixed. I absolutely understand that.
Yeah.
And it aggravates me. It's funny because me and you, Scott, are the total opposites. I switched from Democrat to be a no party for similar reasons. Because, the biggest reason was when this is the only thing that held me as a Democrat forever. They always, since FDR, wanted Medicare for all. So I always believed in it. That has been my belief. And I know people want to say it's socialist, whatever. I don't care. I've always believed it. Well, now they just got rid of it. It's not there in their platform anymore. Joe Biden, right on the stage, said, they asked him in that debate, if it came across your desk, it got through both the House and Senate, would you sign it? He said no. you know what? It was just in 2018 when you and ex-President Obama were telling me that that's what you need to get to. That was how you move the ball down the field heading to Medicare for all. And now Medicare for all is garbage. So that's what got me. And that's my biggest aggravation with the Democrats. And I think you probably are the same way, Scott. They're both just.
Oh, I mean, they all lie. I mean, it's power grabs for both sides. It's who can get the quick little clip that can get on the nightly news, and who can say this
photo ops.
Exactly. I mean, it's
Scott.
It's never going to change.
Since I knew you didn't like Trump, during the Democrat primary, was there anyone you liked? Was there anyone?
Oh yeah. Oh, people are they're gonna love this because I'm quite happy with his vice presidential pick.
Oh, Kamala.
I like Kamala Harris. I do. I do. I mean, I don't know how all these other. I mean, I'm judging her based on what she's got a short career. So I don't know why everybody thinks she's going to come in and take over in the radical left, and they're going to take over the world. And,
I know it's not happening. Biden's going to die, and she's going to take over, right? Is that what they're saying?
As somebody posted today, give it till March, and Kamala's going to take over.
They're going to do something. He's not mentally competent to stand president if Biden wins. I think Lisa said that.
Democrats and Republicans have been doing this forever, in my eyes. Since I was was able to vote, Republicans always scream socialism and communism and try to scare everyone into that. Democrats do the same, they do the same thing to the Republicans, calling them authoritarian. The whole thing, they're Nazis, they're this. It's been going on forever. So it's not even just new to this. This is the normal playbook, and I hate it because I know there's not going to be any radical change with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. There's not going to be anything. What we're going to get is a little differential and a tax break, like we always do. That's the only difference between Democrats and Republicans in my eyes, because they always push away people that have, independent thinking. They don't want them. That's why they hated Trump so much.
Right, because it goes against the grain.
Right.
Other people.
Yeah, I mean, they always they don't like individual thinkers. I like Tulsi Gabbard. That's who I wanted.
That's I was curious. I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
What is it about her that you like so much?
Well, what I like about her
I don't really know a lot about her.
What I like about her is I loved what she did. I thought she spoke her mind to Kamala. I thought she gave it to her, and she told her right out why she is not. Why she isn't a good candidate. I thought that was great.
We got a comment here real quick from Joe Herman. Her career is tainted. Look what she has done to African Americans in California. And how in the hell does she represent herself as an African American? She is a fraud. Joe Herman in her comments.
Thank you. Well, all right, we'll get into that. But Tulsi, to me, just wasn't, once again, an independent thinker. I hate the parties. So when you give me Biden, Kamala, Booker, let me think, who else is up there? And Buttigieg and all that, you mix them all together and just come out with one. Why they came out with the oldest decrepit one is ridiculous.
I was honestly really shocked that he won. I honestly. Well, I honestly thought it was going to be one of the younger people.
But
I was hoping it was
all they had to do was choose one of the younger ones, any one of them. Because they had it, it was going to happen. They squashed Sanders to the point where he was unrecognizable. And although Sanders wins California, will win New York, will win the states, the big states. Right. But, Joe Biden will win in the South, whatever. In a Democratic primary, who cares? Yeah. But he's decrepit. And
he's up there.
It's ridiculous. That I'm watching this guy who has, if you want to talk about looking at records, God almighty, his record is
44 years in Congress, right?
It's horrible.
And he's all but said that he's only going to serve one term. I mean, he hasn't actually said the words, but it's,
from what
it's been inferred.
What I had heard was, I know at first they were trying to get him. I think they really went to him and really, really pushed to get him to enter. That's what I had read. Now, he didn't state that, but I had read it in a couple different places where the party was pushing for him because they weren't sure that any of the ones that were up were going to be able to beat Trump.
Right. But, right now, no one's going to vote for Biden. They're voting against Trump. There's not many Biden supporters.
Sure.
Because there's nothing to support. I mean, if you look into the background, it's tough. You can't even defend some of the nonsense. So and I'm not talking
when
about.
you have a career that long, odds are, yeah,
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of flip flopping in there because you also grow as a person, so people are going to flip flop. I mean, gay marriage. Look what happened.
But
a lot of them are going to flip flop.
Right.
You know what I think was a big problem is that the Democrats had the integrity card all ready to play had they picked the right candidate, and you pick Biden, and he's got credible accusations of sexual assault. So now how can you use that against Donald Trump in any way when Joe Biden has the same thing?
Morality went way out the window.
If you're in politics, your morality's pretty much gone most likely by this point. When you're their ages, odds are, yeah.
I know, but
to that degree, I mean, it's one thing to say, maybe their morals weren't the greatest on a bill that they passed or something like that, but to have two candidates that have credible sexual assault allegations against them, I guess it's a reflection of our society today, but it's a sad one.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt about it. It's sad, and it is a reflection as we are dealing with everything we're dealing with that, and I haven't found a person that likes Biden, and I'm serious. And this has nothing to do with liking Trump. This has to do with him, and I feel now. Here's some polls. I took them today. One was an ABC. I wish I could remember what the other one is. Are they with CNN? I don't know. It was an ABC / something poll where the president's approval rating is 45%. Now that's probably, you'd say that's probably right because 45%.
Probably around that. I mean, that's his base.
Right.
Right there.
So he was at 45%. Now the whole thing is tightened up. As you knew it would.
Of course.
It's tightened up. I mean, it was at one point, they were telling me it was over. Biden's plus 13. Forget it. Now a lot of places that aren't, like Rasmussen and things that people try to say is maybe more Republican, they're getting it. They're at like Biden plus 4. So it's almost even. You know what I mean?
Right,
It's in the margin.
Closer than they probably want it.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's going to get ugly.
They had to see that.
Ugly, man.
They had to see. No, but let's look at this now. We got 3 debates taking place that are coming. The first debate, Chris Wallace, who I like. I think he's all right. He
seems somewhat neutral.
He tries to do what he's got to do, and he's all right. Well, did you guys see? I'll tell you what they are. I got them.
I haven't seen them, no.
Okay, well, here's the topics. This some of them make me laugh. COVID-19, Trump and Biden, just their records. The Supreme Court, the economy. These two are going to knock me off my chair. Race and violence in our cities, and the integrity of our elections. Now look,
Russia,
race, get bad, man.
Race. Both parties have failed miserably.
Absolutely.
And I do not care what anyone says. They've failed miserably for years, and they have nothing good to say about it. I don't even know what they. I don't even know.
For years, it wasn't even a priority for either.
Right.
Party. I mean, they talked about it, but how much got done?
Right. No, the only thing that got done, unfortunately, and it is on the Democrats' hands, but Republicans liked it too, was the crime bill of '94,
which turned out to be
stop and frisk.
Turned out to be a very
good job, guys.
It's part of where we kind of are today. Was probably because of those types of things.
On that, I saw Giuliani recently. For whatever reason, I was clicking through, and yes, I watch all the shows. I turn on Fox. I'm not a fan of it. I can't handle it that long. It's a little hard on the head. But I click through CNN. I click through MSNBC. I go over to HLN if I really want to calm myself down.
Home Shopping Network.
What's that?
Home Shopping Network.
Yeah, Home Shopping.
Yeah, but do you ever go to YouTube? Like for new,
I don't trust it.
There's some good independents
but there's so many out there.
Yeah.
That you just don't know who to trust. I mean, for example, you have people like, let's say, Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about what that gentleman he spoke at the RNC, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't go to. Yeah.
I mean, how are these things that Republicans are doing? Like the fingers point, oh, look at the Democrats, blah, blah, blah. But how come no one in the Republican Party has an issue with, the guy that started, what was it, the youth.
What's
youth
that?
For Trump, young people for Trump.
Okay.
Is that what it's called?
Maybe. Yeah, it sounds.
Yeah.
It's young people for Trump. I don't remember the exact name, but he put up a troll farm.
Yeah.
He got caught. He got caught like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and now all of a sudden it's like, yesterday's news.
Then he was
That's
changing
like
the
kind of a
numbers.
big
What's nice
deal,
about
isn't it?
YouTube, though, is that everyone kind of says who they are and what platform they're on. You know, when you're watching Ben Shapiro, that you're watching a conservative show. You know, if you're watching Jimmy Dore, that you're getting a little comedy, but you're getting a Tulsi Gabbard supporter. And and they don't try to hide things the way they do on the networks and try to pretend like they're impartial. And I think that's what we like more about YouTube.
I got a good show on YouTube that I'm going to give you, Scott. This is a good one.
I was going to tell you guys, give me some.
Here's
give me
a great one. You'll love it. It's called The Hill, and it's The Rising. And,
Yes,
and
it's
on it, I'm going to remember. Oh God, what are their names, Robin? What are the names of the? Do you remember?
Crystal Ball
And
and
I can't remember the Republican's name. Sagar something. It was just Sagar's fine. But anyways, it's really good. You got a Democrat, you got a Republican.
See, that's great.
And they do it with no arguing. They even will, they bring a conservative on to interview, via Skype, and there's no arguing. You'll love it. There's no arguing.
There's
but
no crazy over the top.
No,
like,
none.
right
no,
before
they're
the commercial
very
break.
respectful of each other.
No, it's good, and they both definitely are on the opposite side of the spectrum, way far. No, not even. It's just good. It's one of those good shows that you can watch and get both sides. And I check it out sometime. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
but
I
it's definitely a good one. Crystal Ball actually came from MSNBC
and had to leave.
Yeah, didn't
I was going
like.
to say, name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I've heard her name
She had to
before.
leave
I didn't
because
know
they
where it
were
was from.
making her. If she said anything against President Obama, they're going to fire her.
Scott,
So she
you
decided to
recognize
leave.
her name from an adult film, I think. Crystal Ball.
Keep my teenagers out of
Hey,
this.
anyways, wanted to give another
Go ahead, yeah.
a shout out here. Anyways, to remind you, the phone number 716-804-1229. We'll take another call if anyone's interested. We can talk politics. How about talk about something good? What's good in Niagara Falls? Maybe something positive. But
There's nothing.
nothing positive, huh?
No, you guys, peacekeepers are positive.
Hey, man, you guys are the best. And again, I appreciate you and Peter and everyone that has been really acknowledging the efforts of the peacemakers. And there's more good things to come. We're really trying to turn things around in the community.
Anything in that I should be answering, or we should be answering?
Let's see here. I'm just we got let's see. Race has been terrible, but you've got to give credit where credit is due to Trump for what he's done for race opportunities. Best job percentage. Trump has done more for African Americans than any president in the last 20 years. Almost all of your poor or decrepit. I lost my place. Hold on. Decrepit cities have been ran by Democrats for years. I mean, why is it always got to be finger-pointing politics? Democrats, Republicans.
Because that's the environment
why
that
can't
we are in
we
now.
need to fix it. We need to quit pointing finger. What do we just pass the football?
Question.
No one scores a touchdown.
John,
I got it.
a
We just
question.
pass it
Okay, go
around
ahead.
a hot
you.
potato, right?
Actually, it's two questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
One, you've been around politics a long time,
Yes.
right? As have I.
Yep.
Have you ever seen this much hatred
No.
between two parties in your life?
No, I thought the Obama years were bad, and
This
I
is
thought
1,000 times
this
worse.
is way. This is a bad spot because no one's going to accept the loss of this election. I don't care which side it is, and I've never seen it where both sides point the finger at the other one and not just saying we don't like you because you're going to bring in socialized medicine. It's now you're trying to take everything from me. You're going to end America as we know it. This is like at the point, and it's both sides because they point at Trump and ridiculous things they say. Democrats do the opposite, and everything is like we are going to, that there's going to have to be civil war.
I got another question on that.
Okay.
Now, on that note, because you see the shows on both sides showing the violence. The other ones don't show it as much, obviously, but don't you think Fox News has gotten pretty bad? As far as and not all Fox News, because I know that there's shows on there that aren't, but like the Tucker Carlson, the Sean Hannity, the craziness that gets said on those shows.
Anything for ratings.
Those videos that they're showing, that they act like New York City's burning right now.
Well, I mean,
it's.
I'll tell you this. I knew that things were going crazy over there during the Obama years, and you did too, I'm sure. And I gotta say, it's out of it's ridiculous. But the other
Ever
side.
since Roger Ailes has been, it's gone right off the deep end.
But then when I look at like an MSNBC, let's say, okay, and I hear the people that have left there and were told what they had to say, and they have enough to say I won't do well, like the guy from the Young Turks, Crystal Ball.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's a bunch of people that were told you can't criticize President Obama, and if you do, get out. And then these people have some. I appreciate them; they leave, which I don't blame them. And so that's telling me they're all screwed up. I can't take any of them. CNN, if I see Chris Cuomo one more time, I'm gonna bash my head off a wall with it. He's laughing and joking with a big stupid Q-tip. I was going wild that night. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
And they've blown that out of proportion. They don't stick it down in your brain and do all this and do that. Come
I know
on
it's
now.
uncomfortable because my daughter's had it.
It is uncomfortable.
Well,
My mother's had it. So
I've been tested twice.
They got
and I
easier
didn't
ones.
have it.
It looks like they're about to stick a pitchfork up.
Well, they
your
got
nose.
It's over. It's blown out of proportion.
I do it
think.
anyway. It doesn't matter to me.
know.
I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Oh yeah, but
They got easier ones now, from what I understand. There's one that you like rinse your mouth and spit into a cup.
But
I heard about.
I've heard that's not
good.
Well, I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying from what I heard
The
right off the bat,
accuracy.
it's not the accuracy isn't
Right.
as good with those tests.
Yeah,
the nasal swab is obviously, I'm guessing, probably one of the best ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, the saliva one I heard wasn't as as reliable, I guess.
I got to ask you a question, and this is driving me nuts. But what about the Supreme Court? And they're talking about the term Supreme Court packing.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
It'll never end. It'll never end.
No.
Every time someone gets power, they're going to do this. No, I don't think that should be allowed to happen.
Yeah, no,
I really don't.
And it's happened before. I was reading about it today. We've had 6, we've had 7, we had as high as 10 before.
They shouldn't have lifetime terms.
Right.
I'm sorry. I mean, I've had conversations with grandparents and aunts and uncles that are in their 80s, and I'm not saying that they're not all with it, but you can't.
No, they don't.
I don't get it.
It's unnecessary. It's
if they haven't progressed mentally with the times, then a lot of the things that they could be saying no to or saying yes to are.
We're going backwards instead of forwards.
Yes.
They're trying to live like the old times, and it's not the old times anymore. Things got to change. Things got to be updated.
There should be limits on everything in politics.
Just a question for you.
Sure.
Do you think that it should be an appointed position by the president, or do you think that's something that as citizens we should have the right to vote for?
I 100% think we're the ones that are affected by it.
Right.
That would be amazing.
So of course we should be the ones because
that would be amazing.
Now I'm going to say this as part of what we're talking about. No. So you don't think that if this, let's say the judge gets in, right? Let's say it's a week after the election, 2 weeks after the election. We know that the mail-in votes aren't all going to probably be counted by then because there's such a multitude of them. You do not think that Trump's going to try to invalidate a lot of votes?
He's already bringing that narrative up.
And see,
he's
now
already
it's tied.
bringing it up. It's going to be be contested, right? Already he's talking about it before any one vote.
Yes,
it's going to be contested.
But
Supreme Court's going to be involved.
Right.
It's already building that story.
Well, he's already said that he's going to lose, and it's going to be because of fraud before the election even got kicked off. I mean,
Hillary herself said it. That she said it too. Don't concede the election. She just said it the other day. Don't concede.
This is going to get bad, John.
Both
going to get ugly,
both
man.
sides are going to bring this thing to the Supreme Court. Both sides are never going to accept defeat. Nope. And it's just going to be a circus.
But it's the narrative that they want us to believe. They're feeding that story to us. Why does it have to be contested already? Nobody even voted yet. I mean, why do we have to? Like we're puppets, and they're already saying in 7 months from now, this is what's going to happen, and everyone believes it. How can it be contested before it's contested?
Because he's already you're planting the seed.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Why? But we cannot believe that narrative. There's been mail-in votes. There's been absentee ballots. This is not something new that was just created by the Democrats. But now the news is reporting, so everyone's going to believe it.
It's something different, though. It's different than it's ever been. This is different.
I got a card. You guys did, right? Yeah. I don't know what it's like in other states, but it's not like I got a ballot in the mail.
No, but people are getting ballots in the mail. They're sending ballots.
I don't know what I get that.
Yeah, so I mean, it is different. But usually you have to request them.
How they counted ballots 4 years ago and 4 years before that.
I thought I was the one supposed to get fired up, Chris.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, before it was different. You had it's all because of COVID is why this is happening.
I know, and it should happen. I mean, it's a dangerous disease virus that's out there.
It's asking, before we had to ask for it, you just didn't get them sent to the House. Now, what they need to do is make sure their voter, like the different people in the, different Board of Elections, they need to make sure that the voting roll, the people that are inactive are taken off. The people that are dead are no longer on there. That's very important to do.
Absolutely, for sure.
And I don't know if that's, I don't believe it's being done. That's
important.
important.
But when you see Bill Barr and him saying the things they're saying, they're acting as though they have proof that all these things have already happened.
Right, yeah.
Well,
they have it. They haven't.
Don't believe the hype, right? Was said in 91 by Public Enemy.
Meanwhile, it's tearing communities apart.
100%.
Like you said, with families. I mean, I've heard so many stories of families and friends,
People
parting ways over their political beliefs when
there's no give anymore.
Yeah,
I have no problem conceding to people if I made a mistake and I'm wrong.
Yeah, me too. Definitely.
I mean, that's what it's about.
It's causing a lot of deaths. It's causing divorce. It's causing overdoses. It's causing suicide rates to go up. This is the worst. We got some troubled waters ahead, guys, and we better figure this shit out quick, or it's going to be turned too late, and we ain't going to be able to turn it around.
Well, I think the biggest thing everyone has to take, I feel, if I could wave a magic wand, I think everyone needs to take a breath and stop thinking the other side is going to be we're going to become, communist China, or we're going to become, that has to stop.
It's been made into good versus evil.
Whoever wins this election is not going to cause that. We know that. It's not going to. They're not going to cause us to not be America anymore. I believe that. I think we all do, don't we? You guys, come on. You got to all believe that.
I believe that. I don't think that's going to
that's
happen.
Not going to
happen. But Bill Barr scares me.
Yeah.
He really does scare me, man.
Yeah, and he's, I know what you're saying. I know. I just, there's some things that scare me about both sides of this issue. There really is. There's some Democrats that scare me.
Sure.
Because it's just, that's the
lesser
thing.
of the evils. That's unfortunately what it usually comes down to.
Well, yeah, it's the devil,
Now, I got to ask you a question about voting.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll ask all of you.
Yeah.
Now, when you go out and you vote, if you're Republican, if you're Democrat, when you were, John, did you always vote party line?
No.
Why does it seem like that's what's happening now?
Yeah,
There's no more looking at the person.
It's
just, you're a Republican. Oh, you're a Democrat. Oh, you're like the devil.
You're in.
Or you're a Republican.
You're in
you
or
must
you're
be
out.
Satan.
Based
I can't
on
vote
that.
for you. I vote for the person. Like, I try to do a little homework on them at least, so I know more about them. And I vote for the person. I voted for Democrats in the past. I voted for Obama. I'm going to be honest. Yes, I did. I did vote for Obama. You want to rag on me? Do what you want to do. But I got these baby that shows a lot that Obama did.
There you go.
Taking
The
off
guy
from
doing
Bush.
his homework.
I got a ton of these that show all of them just piggybacked. Like, Obama piggybacked off of Bush.
As always,
He
John.
had the recession after that. But what I'm saying is they all piggyback off each other. So when you try to just give all of the congratulations, you did such a great job, and it was only him, that's not true.
Right.
No person just comes in, waves a magic wand, and the economy turns around. The economy was already turning around. Employment was already trending upwards. I mean, the numbers are here. They were already trending upwards after Bush. So...
No, right, and then when you go into the
credit.
Trump administration, they were trending up from Obama.
Yes.
You're absolutely right.
And everything was going great. I mean, things were going good, but you can't keep lying to the American people all the time and expect them to stay with you.
Decades.
Decades. Yeah, but right now we're being lied to about our health.
Well, yeah, COVID has been a mess.
I mean, they just found out they've been changing the CDC numbers. The CDC, CDC changed that. They had it on the website Friday, and then all of a sudden it was taken off, telling you that the aerosol droplets hang in the air now, which if you watched any videos where they did an aerosol spray test,
right,
you see that it hangs in the air. I mean, it did it right in the
So does the flu, right?
Right.
It hangs in the air as well.
So why are you trying? You're not. If you want to scare people, mess with their health departments and that where they're supposed to be getting advice from. People don't even want to listen to it. Would you take the vaccine, John?
Oh, I'm going to have to.
You do have to?
I'm going to have to because of my wife. Okay. I mean, I want to protect her with her, we were talking about her prior conditions. So
sure.
It would be kind of really, I couldn't not do
I'll be honest. I mean, I get the flu shot. Some people don't like it. Some people
down
do.
with the
That's
flu shot.
my opinion. I'm down with the flu shot.
But I'm not being anybody's.
I haven't had the flu since I've been taking the flu shot. Honestly.
I'm not being anybody's guinea pig for a vaccine that gets pushed through politically, though.
That's the scary part of the
I
can't say no to it. I think I would feel really bad if I if I brought COVID home to my wife. You know what I mean? I don't know how I could handle
100%. I told you earlier, it got passed through my aunt and uncles, my aunt and uncle, my cousin. It went through them, and out of all 5, 6 people that got it, only one of them.
Guys, I got a great couple comments here.
Okay.
An hour is just not
really
enough.
sick.
We're heading to the end here, so we're done with callers at this point. It looks like we do have some good comments in here. I just want to go back a second. And Joe Herman said, "Always remember, we the people, capital letters. Believe it or not, we still have the last say." And Peter replied to that, "Unless we have people telling us what the last word should be." Joe. So there's a quite a dynamic going on there, right? But we do have to stand up for ourselves. We do have to speak. We do have to unite as Americans. As John Fidel said, we all need to be Americans. And this is a critical juncture. The country, the world is at a crossroads here. We're either going to go one way or the other, and hopefully we can get a little bit closer to the middle, because those two options seem like they're going in opposite directions. We need a little bit more common ground.
Well, that's going to be the problem after this election, though. It's not going to get fixed in this one because no one's going to accept the loss.
Well, we can't riot, and we can't have a civil war.
You're going to have riots.
We can't. It's not going to solve it.
There's
going to be riots.
Sure. Look what's going on today.
There are riots in Louisville tonight or something tonight, right? Something's going on tonight.
The 3%ers are in Louisiana right now. Mm-hmm. You have, the Black Lives Matter. They're there. They're yelling at people are yelling at the media, telling them they're showing too much violence in their town that's limited in limited areas. I'm sure it's not right now. I don't know what's happening at this moment, but after what I saw happen today, I'm sure it's probably pretty ugly. But you got people are lined up with baseball bats that they can just put into a holster over their shoulder.
Oh, looks like a pool cue.
Covered with gas masks, totally covered. You don't see who they are. So you can't just blame Black Lives Matter when there was all these white supremacist people we saw the video.
And then
everybody
you got
saw Umbrella Guy, right? Where he was up with the hammer or whatever he had, and he was smacking the window, and the Black Lives Matter protesters went up and said, "Hey man, get out of here." And he slowly walked around the corner. Well, if you look at the arrests in the cities where these protests are happening, and there's a lot of I'm not saying they're not with Black Lives Matter, but
no, you're right.
There's a lot of white supremacists.
And the problem is the message gets lost. It's about racial equality and police brutality. All this other noise and distractions and people burning and looting and rioting is ridiculous. Police brutality needs to stop. The violence needs to stop, and people need to be treated equally under the law. Now, this group and that group and who's funding them and we're not addressing the root of the problem. We need to address the root of the problem. It's been a great show, everyone. I'm going to say goodbye because we got about 2 minutes left, and John always gives out some great numbers. And John, help me out again. My number I like to give out, if we're done, we're probably wrapping up, is there's help for anyone that's having problems with depression, anxiety, suicide. The National Suicide Helpline is available by calling the 800 number, which I don't have, but I'll get next show.
Right.
But you can also text online. And it's available in English and Spanish. So thanks again for having me.
Yo, no problem.
Peace. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Scott, I got another question for you though.
Sure.
And I want you to answer this one. Do you think all 3 debates will take place?
That's a good question. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think it's gonna.
You don't think they'll all happen? Why? Why not?
I think Biden won't want to do them.
Oh.
I'm not.
I think he definitely won't do the one a week before the election. I think that one, I would be shocked if he does that one.
And
we all know what's going to play out, right? We all see it coming. What's going to happen?
Well, yeah, it's going to be.
It's going to be a shit show. Is what it's going to be. And it's going to be Trump calling him names, right? Trump making fun of him. Trump talking about his
Sleepy
kid.
Joe.
It's going to be the whole evening of it. That's his shtick. That's what he does.
He's going to personally attack him.
He's going to bring up Hunter Biden. But, I wish when he brought up Hunter Biden, Joe Biden would get some balls and bring up his kids, who have literally made a ton of money off this guy's presidency. You got his daughter getting all those patents in China. I guess Eric Trump, I just saw before I came in, announced he has now been contacted and has to meet with them.
Hey, Taggart, you think we'll ever see his taxes?
I do.
Trump's taxes?
I think that we might not see his taxes, but I think the Southern District of New York might.
Yeah.
I think they're going to.
once again, just like when we had Lisa here, we need more time.
Yeah.
I'd be more than happy to come back anytime you guys want me to.
Yeah. Hey, John, one more question before we wrap it up here. I was in the comment section earlier. Do you think Trump would have the ability to declare martial law in the event of some type of civil unrest come election counting time?
Well, if there's civil unrest, I mean, and it's like that bad, I assume we could, I mean, it could happen.
Roger Stone's pushing him towards that. He was on what? He was on the tinfoil hat show like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, my God, no.
Yes, he was.
Goodbye. I'm taking my headphones off.
My only thing I'll tell you real quick is I just got to say, well, you know what? I'm not going to say it because you're going to have to come back on, Scott.
I'm more than happy to.
There's no reason to do this.
No, say it. You made me say it. John, say it. Go there. This is the show. We go there, man. Go there.
No,
we got 20 people watching. Quick, go there.
All right, but 20. My point is it's going to take too long. I'm going to end up saying something.
All right. I'll shut up
now.
now.
All right. I'll give you a little more. I'll give you a little more. I'll give you another thing.
I'm here.
President Trump, and by the way, I call everyone president.
Sure, as they should get the title.
There's a few things.
Now we got 24 watching. See, it's worth staying, buddy.
There's a few things that I have to say. We can't overlook, and I know you guys are going to probably tell me I'm nuts, that I think he did positively. There's a few of them that I actually really like that I know no Democrat or Republican would have ever done, ever. I mean, a establishment type. He did something more than I believe Obama did. Because I thought Obamacare was a disaster. As soon as I knew it was Mitt Romney's plan from Heritage Foundation, I knew it was a disaster. If you didn't have Medicaid in your state and it wasn't funded, you were screwed. So basically, all it did was be a nice, happy gift to healthcare, to insurance. I mean, he delivered 30 million people to healthcare insurance. So that's good because he had to pay back his guys. Those were his people that donated to him. So I understand how that works. Now, when I watched Trump do these minor things, I know, and I have been affected by the insulin costs, and they're real. It really happened. And and the other thing, they really happened. They really worked, and they helped people. They did. When I look at NAFTA, we all hated NAFTA. Most people hated it back then, but not Democrats and Republicans. They loved it. Both of them loved NAFTA. Both of them always loved these kind of trade deals. They wanted the TPP. Sure. They wanted all of that. He's done some things that we've always wanted to be done. I can't argue with those. Like we've always wanted them to be done, especially us here that lived in the Rust Belt. We always wanted those things done. And that's where I get torn. Because I've
got one more.
Oh, what do you got?
What about NATO? What about making other countries pay their proper money for the protection that
we always wanted?
100%. Glad he did it.
Absolutely. I agree with that, too.
Like, and a wall. What's wrong with the wall? Other countries are blocked up.
The wall, I mean... he's claiming all this mileage of wall being built, but let me finish with John's point. No, yep. John, I agree with you. I do. But I'll tell you how I have benefited from Obamacare. Okay? I was at a job that consistently would change health insurance.
Right.
Okay? And they would do it once a year. Now, I ended up leaving that job because I just couldn't. I had to get a better rate of pay.
Right.
When I left that job,
the pre-existing condition clause, that makes me nervous.
Well, he's in court right now trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, without it being being in a law, that is one part of Obamacare that I do think definitely helped people and helped an awful lot of people.
How much, Scott, did it cost? You said it cost nothing?
No. I mean, I pay every month, but as far as because of what the medication was,
right?
Instead of me paying $10,000 a shot, I believe it's because she's a child.
Yeah.
So I ended up not having to pay a dime for it.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not trying to be a jerk, but not at all. I mean, I'm just saying I think that's because we live in New York. New York State has. What I'm trying to say is New York State is set up for all of that. They were ready for, you know what I mean? They were ready for that type of Obamacare. Kentucky wasn't. West Virginia wasn't.
Sure.
All these places weren't. And these people were not getting, I mean, I just watched the stories of them. Yeah. Never had health insurance. And my God, I can't afford this one. And it was, and of course it's because they didn't fund Medicaid. I know all that. But why wouldn't that have been something President Obama would have known to do, or something to figure it out? Instead of telling me Medicare for all is garbage, I
can't believe not more people aren't on board with it.
Right.
Medicaid for all, I really can't. Because I mean, if they do repeal this, what about all the people with that are their bodies have been ravaged by COVID? I mean,
and then they're going to have
my buddy who's been commenting on the page all night, which like I said, we got into it the other day. I bring up my cousin because he's the only person I know that got extremely sick from it.
Right.
He almost died. He was on a ventilator for 3 weeks. It hit home in my house. 5 people work in the hospital industry. They told me all the horror stories, things that they saw. So I was getting a regular dose of how bad it actually is in the hospitals.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if you're really watching and depending on the television, you need to go talk to somebody who worked in the hospitals because that saw it firsthand. And my brother told me about a person dying in front of the registration desk.
Oh, it's real.
In Vegas. I mean, when it was bad, it was bad.
Oh, yeah. Edge of the Falls had a nurse on. I can't remember. She's from the Falls, and Edge of the Falls had her on regularly giving reports. It was Florida, right, Peter?
She was from Florida. She was in New York.
Oh, yeah. From Florida in New York. Oh, she came to help out. Correct. So, yeah, I mean,
thank God for those people.
They were getting frontline reports from a nurse in the hospital saying, this shit's real. It's going down. And I haven't personally had someone that I know of affected, but a good friend of mine, Harry Lipsitz, his mentor, Joel Giambra, was very famous in Buffalo in the film community and the plays and things like that. He was very influential, and he recently passed away. And I know he was on Facebook giving updates like daily on his condition, and everyone was praying that he would pull through, and he didn't. And it affected a lot of people, and his legacy, will continue. He's doing some work in Buffalo on Joel's life, but anyways, it is real, and it does happen, and it's going to continue to happen because we're maybe in the middle of the storm. This
I don't even
pandemic.
know, honestly. I don't know because you guys have a lot more experience, especially you, Scott, more than I do. As just somebody watching it and concerned about my wife, I don't know where we're at. I can't even you know what I mean? I don't know. It almost feels like it's being forgotten a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of just gone to
pounded it and pounded it and pounded it to the point where people are getting numb of it.
Yeah.
They're getting numb.
Desensitized, yeah.
I mean, it's sad.
And
because
we're so
you know
sick
what?
of it, too.
If they don't get it under, if they don't do something soon,
yep,
they're going to double the amount of deaths by the end of the year, they're saying.
Yep.
400,000, that's a lot of people,
man. In 3 months, bro.
And then I see videos of the kids running through Target. Take your mask off. I wish it was here. Somebody probably punch them in the mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, they're telling people, take your mask off. Yeah, we're not 18, man.
Yeah.
I'm not 18. I got a mother, pre-existing conditions. My daughter's not going to school. She's doing the remote learning because my mother takes care of my daughter after school. What am I ask my mother to sign up for a possible death sentence so my kid can go to school and learn English?
No, I know. It's.
I feel bad for teachers. I feel bad for everybody that's affected by it on the front lines of it. And I think teachers have been put in a really bad position. Really bad position.
I heard of a teacher at Niagara Falls High School. There's 2 teachers with 1 kid in the. I
believe it.
In the thing. So people
are scared.
Crazy.
It's scary.
Well, people are staying home. Yeah.
And as they
look
should.
at this.
I would.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. Well, you know what?
I do. I mean, gosh, I used to be in a band. I used to be out every weekend. Now I hardly leave the house. I'm in bed by 10:30.
Right. No, I know, man.
I became my dad.
Yeah, me too. Me too. You know what? We'll wrap it up here. Scott, I am definitely going to invite you back because you're a great host. Someday we got to get you and Lisa here together.
Sure,
so we can have a good time. That'll be great.
No doubt.
Maybe something close to the election too, like even election day. We could have a really good,
I'm wide open.
informative thing here, and you know what you're talking about, Scott. And I thank you for being here.
Thanks, buddy.
Yes,
I appreciate
thank
it. It's really good seeing you guys. I haven't seen either one of you in many years, and it's
Decades.
been fantastic to catch up with you.
Taggart, it's always a blast, man. You know, you're full of knowledge, and keep your mask on and wash your hands, everyone. Great to see you, Taggart. We'll have you on again, man, for
Robin?
sure.
Robin, go ahead. Say goodbye to the
Scott, it was nice to meet you, and I hope everyone enjoyed the show. And if you can share it with your friends, let them know. If they didn't see it live, they can catch it on Facebook or YouTube.
Good one, Peter.
It was nice meeting you too.
And now I'm going to say my goodbyes. Remember, if you've ever been sexually assaulted, you're a survivor of sexual abuse, something's happened to you currently. The YWCA here in Niagara County, area code 716-278-9662 and 716-433-6716 is a 24-hour helpline. There are counselors there. There are advocates there. There are people there that will help you. They will do counseling for you while you sit on your couch at home over the phone. You don't even have to leave. They understand everything. And, reach out to them, especially if things are happening right now. They'll get you with the police if you need to. They'll go to the police with you, and they're outstanding people.
And it's free of charge.
Free of charge. And then there is RAINN, RAINN. This is a national number, 1-800-656-4673.
Yeah.
Those people are there 24 hours a day, and they will, they're there for you if you're a sexual assault victim or a currently happening to or a survivor and you need help. 1-800-662-HELP, 1-800-662-4357 is for all mental health issues, depression, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, everything, panic attacks, all that stuff. And they're there waiting for you. And it's all confidential. So please reach out to them. And I want to thank everybody, Peter, Barb, the whole deal. And we'll be back for episode 13 next week. And thank you, everybody. Take care.